9th, 2024. Thank you for attending, citizens. And I hope everybody's doing well. And if you would, roll call. Pat.
Here.
David.
Here.
Melissa.
Here.
Doug.
Here.
And Pete.
Here.
Okay, everybody's in attendance. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, approval of minutes. June 11th, 2024, regular and closed session meetings. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any changes to those minutes?
I just have one small change. It said that Doug Chapman was in attendance, but I don't believe he was at the last meeting.
Okay. Kat, you agree with the change?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Pete?
Yes.
Doug?
Aye.
Right. All right, approval of minutes, June 25th, 2024, mid-year retreat meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on those minutes? Nope. Kat?
Aye.
David?
Yes.
Melissa?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And Pete?
Yes.
Okay. Regular agenda adoption. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as stated?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Kat?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And Pete?
Yes.
Okay, agenda is adopted. Consent agenda. Annual tax report and order of collections, fireworks permit for Chatola Resort. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And keep in mind, there's no discussion for consent, so we will vote. Kat?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And Pete?
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda is adopted. Now, we're at the public comment section. Do we have anyone out there that would like to speak for 3 minutes? Okay, and we will move on. All right, the next session is the public hearing on the TDA ordinance amendment. Lead, I guess, Shane Fox and Tracy Brown.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Wanted to speak tonight towards the TDA ordinance amendment. The TDA was created over 20 years ago. The creation of the TDA led to an ordinance that was put into place that dictated the terms of the members within the board of the TDA. So you'll see here behind me a little information that was provided to you in the staff report. Back on June 4th, 2024, the TDA board voted to request to the town council to consider holding a public hearing, which we're doing tonight, to discuss a text amendment change to section 2 of the ordinance titled Appointment of Membership. Within the TDA establishment ordinance, the request was specific to one group, or group 1, which is lodging. TDA board voted to request the town council to consider adding language to the current TDA ordinance to allow for lodging owners to appoint a potential designee to represent their business and serve the TDA board, i.e. a general manager of the hotel, motel, lodge, etc. So I'll put some language up here that shows the current section 2, appointment of membership. I put underline the piece there that we need to consider maybe adding to. The Blowing Rock Tourism Development Authority shall consist of 5 members who shall be appointed and approved by the town council, shall also be voting residents and or taxpayers of the town, and shall be selected as follows. Again, group 1 has 2 appointees, which is lodging. 2 members shall be individuals who are affiliated with the businesses that collect the occupancy tax. So the TDA board asked of the town council to consider adding the language or their appointee designee. If a designee is appointed, they must be approved by the town council prior to assuming the seat. Director Tracy Brown is here from the TDA, so I'm going to step aside and allow Tracy to come up and speak towards the reasoning behind this.
Thank you, Shane. Mayor, Council. We brought this up with the TDA board at our last regular meeting because what we're seeing is not what we had when we wrote this legislation or this ordinance. What we're seeing today is the majority of our properties are being owned absentee. The workers within the property, most of the properties you had owners that lived on property. You were one of them. Well, that's flipped now. The majority is owned absentee, even out of state. And the workers that work in there can't afford to live in town. So even though, for example, a property is owned by a company out of Richmond, Virginia, that owner in Richmond, Virginia is paying the property taxes as the ordinance allows or is saying you have to do. But the owner is not here. But he does have, or she does have somebody here on property that's running the place that knows what's happening. Our request is that the council look at rewriting that or just adding that language so that we can have somebody that is in the know, in market, helping to serve on the board, because eventually, if we're not careful, there's going to be nobody living in town owning these properties. So again, we've just changed over the last 20 years. Things have changed.
Have you all written anything up that you would like to present to council?
The only thing that we have is the language that Shane's already expressed or shared, and to consider that language that says, or their appointed designee. If a designee is appointed, they must be approved by town council prior to assuming the seat. You go through the same process as you do every year anyway. We just have that, you got that option that you can exercise. Maybe you won't have to, but we can see down the road that there's going to be a time for it.
Questions for Tracy or Shane?
So they'll just submit, when we do board selections, they'll just submit an application, just like anybody else would.
Yes, sir.
And keep in mind that, if I'm not mistaken, we'll have to do that now or soon because Greg has pulled off the board, correct?
He'll have to come off the board because of the way the ordinance is written now.
So they'll need to submit their request to the council for approval of a new member. Okay? So keep that in mind.
I would add, if I may, the next meeting of the TDA is in September. Is that correct, Tracy?
Yes, sir.
So more than likely, that's when Greg would be coming off the board. So then we would have to open that back up for potential appointees.
Any other questions for Tracy? All right, citizens, this is open for public hearing. If you would like to speak on this issue, you may step up. Damn, sun's still up. God almighty. All right. Okay. Tracy, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion or questions? Okay. Kat? David?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And Pete?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the language as stated.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any additional discussion? Okay, Kat?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And Pete?
Aye.
Okay, there you go, Tracy. All right, wow, moving right along. Okay, we're at official reports and comments. I'd like to thank all the citizens that attended the festivities in town over the weekend. I think it went really good. My hat's off to all of our departments and department heads. They did a fabulous job. I've heard nothing but positive comments about the festivities over the weekend. So thank you so much to all of you that aren't here tonight. And thank you to those that did attend that are here tonight. But our little parade has really come a long ways and it's growing every year. So thank you. Thank you to the council for being supportive. I also want to thank our Public Works. Sunday morning, they were at Chatola repairing a water line. And if it's been any other places, that probably would have waited till the middle of the next week. but they were out there Sunday morning replacing that water line, so our thanks to Public Works. We have upcoming meeting, Planning Board meeting on July 11th. This is a special meeting to discuss the proposed new pole on Green Hill Circle. And then Tuesday, July 23rd, we have the council meeting, which is also a public hearing that will be held to consider the new pole on Green Hill Circle. So that's it for me. Kat?
Thank you to the Public Works. They are just awesome. I mean, they really are. They're good. And all of our town staff are. That's all.
I'll echo your comments on the 4th of July festivities. Incredible parade, one of the biggest we've had in a while, probably 90 entries, something like that. So it was fantastic. Everybody, as far as I can tell from the outside standing there, it went off without a hitch. So kudos to all the hard work everybody put into that.
Melissa?
I would just echo what everybody's saying. It was great 4th, great staff. Can't do it without them.
Doug?
Yeah, I thank all the department heads, the staff, coming back in on Sundays, picking up the garbage, trying to get all that done, because with the crowd that we had in here this weekend, the cans, it wasn't 2 hours before they were stuffed back full. So they had a busy week trying to keep that done. I'll echo one little thing that I was in Raleigh 2 weeks ago for my RISC meeting, and I will say that if juries keep awarding the awards that they're doing right now, you're going to see insurance go up very high for the municipalities here in the next couple of years, if it even takes that long. Sorry, Shane.
Pete?
I just echo what everybody has said about the parade and staff, and it was just a wonderful event, and I think all the visitors enjoyed it, and I think all the residents did too. So thanks to everybody that put that on, even Tracy. I mean,
That's not good.
Nothing from me.
Okay, and Mr. Fox?
Well, I thought in light of our short meeting, I would put together.
I
some
told you
additional
all, since he
slides.
came back, they ain't gonna be short no more.
Yeah. A few things, a lot that I'll echo that we started with the thank you for the parade and the 4th. And so to Melissa's comments, it went off without a hitch as far as everybody is concerned. But there's a tremendous amount of work, as you know, that goes into the parade preparation, not only the day of and the day after or the day before, but the days and the weeks leading up to it. So hundreds of hours, thousands of hours that goes into what you see on the parade day. So we just pray for good weather and nothing goes wrong. And in this situation, it married up pretty well, and it was a fantastic parade. So literally all the departments, starting with Park and Rec, who leads the charge here, and how much work and effort that they put into the parade and the festivities that whole day, from the bands and the games and everything that goes into it. The 4th falling on a Thursday allowed for the weekend to extend, and I think that only helped tourism within the town and the number of folks that were here to enjoy and celebrate with the festivities that we had. Police, fire, the work that they put in, Public Works to provide the safety and protection, and the overall cleanup that Doug spoke about earlier is just something that has grown as well in the last few years. So again, thank you to everyone, all the work that was put in to the parade, because it does take the entire staff, and that's only going to continue to be something that we look at and hopefully improve on year after year. Again, thank you to the water leak. We did have a water leak this Sunday morning, I think about 5:30. Matt Blackburn was woken up to the phone with a leak at Chatola, and of course they were out locating and starting to dig before 9 o'clock that morning. So again, thank you to Public Works, even on a holiday weekend, which does seem to happen quite often. This time, no exception. They were out within a couple hours and had it repaired by 2 o'clock and water back on to the folks there at Chatola. special thank you for something that took place today. Local resident Al and Velda Shackelford put together a picnic that kind of started small with the police department and the couple wanting to show their appreciation, and then grew into all the staff, including council and others that were invited today. So special thank you to Al and Velda for putting on the barbecue today with hot dogs and hamburgers and the fixings that were here at Town Hall or at the police station for all our town employees. And so it was something nice that had been discussed and was put into action today, and our town employees enjoyed a lunch on behalf of Al and Velda. So very appreciative of them. So I want to make sure I say that. Main Street project update. We took a little bit of a hiatus last week, had a couple days where they did some paving and cleanup work. They're back on the typical schedule this week. They've been working on North Main. They're going to continue to work on North Main just because of the traffic that's up here. Not that it will get less, but it will get lesser than it is right now. So they're continuing to do service tie-ins and full depth paving on North Main, and they're going to continue to work back this direction. That'll put them in this part of town more than likely in August. Not that August is great, but it's a little bit better than it is right now with traffic. But they are continuing to work. They were able to get quite a bit of work done the last couple of days. Weather has been fantastic over the last 6 or 7 weeks, and the project is on schedule. Still looking for a completion date around the end of August or 1st of September. Maple Street, we talked about at the retreat, and 221 still in the permitting approval phase, not looking to have any exceptions there. Talked to Doug Chapman today, and he's feeling like we'll have some approval from the state any day now, and that'll allow us to put together a timeline of putting that project in front of our contractor as well. Still looking same timeline this fall of having that work pavement job on everything and putting that bow kind of on top of that project. Summer retreat was held on the 25th. We talked about a lot of things that day, so I'm appreciative not only of staff and the work they put into it, but you all as well. I think we have a lot of good things that we're working on. We do have some upcoming meetings to put together some timelines and some plans that we'll bring to you all as we kind of know some more things. But again, just appreciative of the staff and the work that they put into the preparation for the retreat, and then you all for allowing us to present and participating in the retreat on the 25th of June. Mayor Sellers put a couple dates out there. I had them up here Thursday the 11th for planning board and the 23rd for the special council meeting. So I do want to talk about some water concerns we're having, but stop there for a moment, see if you have any questions or anything I can answer before I get into it. Yes, Mr. Matheson.
We're gonna get rid of the excellent.
I don't know. So we've had a right-of-way clearing crew in town for quite some time that have been working on behalf of Blue Ridge Electric and our utility providers. I don't know, but I will ask and see if I can provide a date in which we feel like they feel like they'll be complete.
Unfortunately.
All that being said, my last item for an update, do want to make you aware that we do have some water concerns with the drought that we've been experiencing the last, say, 5 weeks. There has been rain around the last week or so in places. It's been hit and miss. Unfortunately, here at the town, the reservoir, we've not been the recipient of a lot of rain, less than an inch in the past week. Other places have received more. That being said, this also marks our busiest time of year, and so our water plant, which typically produces around 500,000 to 600,000 gallons a day, has been producing upwards of 900,000 gallons a day. Again, testament, I think, to the number of folks in town, which is a great thing. That, coupled with the fact that we have received very little rain the last 6 weeks, our reservoir is at a point now that I feel like we should go into stage 1 conservation. So I did want to put just a reminder, because it's been a number of years since we've talked about this, luckily. Chapter 14 within our town code, utilities, subchapter 5, water shortage. 1488, proclamation of water shortages. In the event it appears that water consumption in the Below Rock municipal water system may exceed supply capacity, then a stage 1 water advisory calling for voluntary water conservation may be announced by the town administrator, which is me. So what is stage 1? It's essentially put into place when our reservoir drops below 5 feet or at 5 feet below the spillway. So I've got a couple pictures to show in just a few moments of what that looks like. The reservoir typically this time of year is over the spillway. Typically May and June are very generous months for us in water. And so July gets a little bit drier, and then August and September, and then we kind of flop things back around and we start getting wet as we go into the latter part of the fall into the winter. However, this year has been a little different. June, again, very dry. So some pictures up here behind me on the left will show you what the reservoir looked like a week ago versus today. That is the spillway. So as you can see here, this is our spillway on the right. There's a good lip there of a foot or so. Quite a bit difference, about double that size. So we're down almost 5 feet right now from the spillway. This time last year, we received 8 inches of rain in June, and this thing was flowing over like a river. So this is concerning for us because this is our water source, of course. And so we are now at that 5 foot section, or that 5 foot area. And so tomorrow morning, I plan on making the proclamation of going into stage 1 water conservation. What does that mean? Right now, it's just asking people to be mindful of the fact that we have received very little rain and that we are concerned. So we're asking people to limit lawn watering or plants just enough to keep them alive. Limit vehicle washing to a minimum. Go to Boone, go to somewhere and maybe utilize some of their facilities that are over. You know, we're asking people maybe not to wash down outside areas as much right now. Again, these are conservation efforts. When we get to stage 2, if we were to get to stage 2, we pray we don't get to that. We then get into mandatory. So that's 10 feet. We're not there yet. We're trying to be a little conservative right now and put this out there a little ahead of schedule, perhaps, compared to where we've been in past years, to put some conservation thoughts into the minds of the public. Same with the commercial folks as well and what that looks like. Exact same things. And so just wanted to provide that tonight since we had the meeting. Thought we'd wait through the holiday that we had this past weekend and get to tonight and make that announcement publicly. And then tomorrow morning, we'll make it effective tomorrow morning starting at 8 o'clock. But wanted to be able to do it tonight so I can answer any questions that you might have.
So it's going to be delayed till after y'all have time to take a shower in the morning. Okay. Questions? Pete?
Yes, sir.
Refresh our memories on how the water agreement with Boone works.
So we do have an interconnect with the town of Boone. We have had agreements with Boone if we were to utilize their water, vice versa, that we would charge each other the rates that are being charged on normal capacity rates and normal usage rates within the town of Boone or the town of Blowing Rock.
I would imagine Boone's having the same problem though, right?
They are not having it as bad as we are. They're able, yeah, they've been the recipient. Yeah, they've been the recipient of several good rains the last couple of weeks. We have not been. And typically it's been the other way around, quite honestly. The Blowing Rock has been, and typically is wetter than the town of Boone, but it's been the reverse. There's places that received several inches of rain the last couple of weeks, and we've not received an inch here. So, yeah,
Okay.
Boone seems to be doing okay. I've had conversations with them about what this potentially would look like, but we're quite a bit of ways down the road to
Okay.
that, hopefully.
Thank you.
All good? Any questions for Shane? No? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a recess to let everybody get to their cars. We are going to be going into closed session for a short period, probably no more than 24 hours. So under
North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A and 3.
Okay, so we will take a quick recess, and council will re-adjourn in about 5 minutes.